Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be in this wonderful world of ours. Please sit back, relax, and you are on Let's Go Fishing. Well, hello and welcome. This is a tutorial on making quill floats. I usually use these floats for mullet or garfish, and you use them in still water, whether it be in a lake or a river, a small creek. But I've caught bream with them and also blackfish as well, and they're quite versatile. You can decorate them any way you like. That's the way I do mine. And yeah, I'll take you through the process of doing that. I found a pelican about a year ago, and all that was left was feathers and a skeleton. And I said, well, I can use these feathers. So I also got the skull as well. It just looks good with all my shells and all that up here. Now the first thing that you want to do obviously is cut away the excess. So I'll cut it to length, to what length you want. Obviously you don't need that fine part there at all. You don't need that. So we'll just cut it about there. Just grab a pair of scissors and just cut all the feather off it. Just like that. Okay. Now that we've done that, we'll get some sandpaper. I start off with 120 grit, and then I'll hit it with 240. Go easy when you're sanding it, because it is very pliable. You can move it around like that, no problem at all. But just go real light with it. So yeah, there you go. You've taken most of the stuff off there. You can feel it with your fingers. You can feel it where it needs a little bit more. You just don't go overboard with it, because you might sand too much of it off and you create a bit of a hole. Because remember that all this is hollow until it comes to about there, and yeah, when it comes to about there, it goes all solid. It's all solid there. You see, that's coming off there. Okay, so now it's time to give it to use 240, give it a light sand. And we'll do that to that part there. Because remember, you've got to take the shine off it as well, because you're going to paint it and you want something that the paint can adhere to. Don't try to make that part round, because naturally it's more squarish when it comes down to the tip here. So don't try to make that round. Just sand it smooth and get the gloss off it in the certain parts where there's gloss on it, the shiny parts. Get all that off, and you know that the paint will stick properly to it if you do that. Okay. Alright, I'll clean all this mess up and I'll get back to you. Well, now we've got to make the part. Now we're going to make that part there that the line goes through the eyelet. And the eyelet's made with a bit of stainless steel wire, MIG wire, welding wire. And all I do is I wrap that round a small drill bit or a nail or something like that, and I bind it on there, and that's what we're going to do now. Alright. I like using a little bit of glue just to start things off a little bit. I just to hold that eyelet on, I use a little bit of glue. Super glue in this case. once you've done a few turns, it's the same as rod binding. I don't know if you've seen my rod binding video, the same thing. And if you haven't watched my other float tutorial, please do so. It shows you how to make the eyelets and all that. It's always fun using the floats that you made by hand. You get a satisfaction out of it. I know I do. You just pull that through like that, and that'll lock it in place, and that thread will never come out. Now you just run your fingers on that. Remember that all this is going to get varnished later on, and it'll be all protected. Okay, so that's the binding done. Just even the thread out with your nail, like that. And now we shall continue on and paint it. I want about that much painted in a sort of fluorescent colour, so I'll put some tape around there. Actually, firstly, if you want to paint a fluorescent colour, you have to have a white base coat. If you don't use white, the colour won't be as bright. So you always have a white base coat on it. And you can use anything for that, but what I normally do is like using is just nail polish. You can see that that's white there and it's black there, so might as well paint it all white. Alright, so we'll give that, let that dry a few moments and we'll get back to it. Alright, that paint now is dry, and what we'll do now is paint the other colour. Just put a bit of masking tape on there, like so. Right, and the next colour we're going to paint is a yellow. About That's the colour there. We'll just let that dry for a little bit and then we'll give it another coat. Alright, the next colour will be the orange, and we'll put that on top. And as you can see, it's starting to look like a nice float. Okay, it's dry. Now we're going to do some binding on it, just to pretty it up a little bit. As you can see with these floats here, they're all being bound up. You don't have to do it, but I enjoy doing it, so why not? Alright, we'll start off with the black first. so the thread won't move. Done. Alright, that's it there. Now you can go fancy with it and put all sorts of binding on it. If you want, you can do the whole lot. But I'm going to just leave it there for the time being. Now, the next step is to varnish it. And I'll do that now. We'll start off at that end there. With a nice varnish. Well, there you go, there's the finished product. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, please subscribe if you haven't, and share. Thank you. It would mean a lot to me. And please leave some comments there if you enjoy making things like this like I do. Give it a go and let me know how you went. I'll just put a bobby pin on there, hang it up and let it dry. Okay, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then.